Bordering the ever-expanding United Federation of Planets, the Cardassian military became convinced conflict with humanity and their allies was inevitable, and so in 2347, they launched a sneak attack against Setlik III in the mistaken belief that the Federation was building up their forces in the area to attack the Union. This then led to decades of war between the powers, ending in a stalemate until they signed the Armistice of 2367, then signing a formal treaty in 2370, marking a new demilitarized border. As a result of the treaty, several former Cardassian worlds were now under Federation control, and similarly, many former Federation planets were now part of the Cardassian Union. Feeling as though the Federation had abandoned these colonies, many turned to rebellion and terrorism. Using the harsh environment of the Badlands as cover for their ships, the Maquis, as they came to be known, demanded their territories be freed. The Federation, though officially on the side of the Cardassian Union in the conflict, had many who sympathized with the rebels, with some even abandoning the Federation to join the Maquis struggle. In 2370, the Cardassian government attempted to stage a coup on Bajor by supporting the Circle, an extremist Bajoran faction. However, they ultimately failed and were exposed. The following year, they signed the Bajoran-Cardassian Treaty, establishing formal peace and diplomatic relations between their governments. By the late 24th century, the Cardassian Union was in a vulnerable position, having lost much of their prestige and power throughout the past few decades. However, the greatest challenges were yet to face them, as all of the Alpha Quadrant and even the Beta Quadrant came under threat from a Gamma Quadrant power known as the Dominion. When a wormhole was discovered near Bajor, leading to the faraway Gamma Quadrant, many were eager to fly through, exploring the other side and even settling colonies on newly discovered worlds. However, as the Bajorans and their allies spread deeper into the Gamma Quadrant, they came into contact with the Dominion. Ruled by changeling aliens able to assume many forms, the founders were revered as gods by the Vorta, who administered their holdings, and the Jem'Hadar, who fought their battles. As war between the Alpha Quadrant powers and the Dominion became inevitable, a preemptive attack was launched against the Founder homeworld in 2371. This effort was organized by Anabran Tain, head of the espionage agency the Obsidian Order, working with their counterparts in the Tal Shiar of the Romulan Star Empire. However, their secret project was infiltrated by a changeling agent who encouraged this effort so the Dominion might trap their fleet, resulting in a crushing victory for the Gamma Quadrant forces at the Battle of the Omarian Nebula. This devastating loss caused the fall of the Obsidian Order, allowing for military central command to take full power within the Union. Eventually, a dissident movement grew, overthrowing military leadership and establishing a civilian government under the Detapa Council. However, as tensions continued to rise throughout the Alpha and Beta Quadrants, Dominion covert operations were able to manipulate the Klingon Empire into launching an unprovoked attack against the Cardassian Union, justifying their actions by claiming that the recent change in government was a Dominion plot to take control. Despite their alliance, the Federation condemned these actions, and so Chancellor Gowron broke off relations, leading to two brief but destructive conflicts from 2372 to 2373, known as the Klingon-Cardassian War and Federation-Klingon War, weakening them significantly when they should be preparing for an invasion. Eventually, they discovered that a changeling infiltrator had taken the place of General Martok, who advised Gowron to go to war with the Cardassian Union. In 2373, with the Dominion armies preparing to enter the Alpha Quadrant, Dukat, former leader of the military, made a backdoor deal to ally with the invasion force in exchange for being made ruler of the Cardassian Union. And so when the Dominion fleet came through the wormhole, they made their way into Cardassian space, where they would stage their invasion. Through this alliance, the Cardassians were reinvigorated and made an Alpha Quadrant superpower once again. The Maquis rebels of the Badlands were quickly destroyed, while the Klingons were chased back into their own space, restoring Cardassian territories completely. When the Federation placed mines at the mouth of the wormhole to prevent further reinforcements from the Gamma Quadrant, the Dominion attacked, with the now Legate Dukat in charge of the war effort, while the Vorta Wayun oversaw his actions on behalf of the Founders. Dukat and the Dominion Cardassian forces successfully gained control of the Federation space station Deep Space Nine, but found the computer system sabotaged and the mines extremely difficult to dismantle. Nevertheless, the Dominion pressed the attack and began seeing major gains, bringing the restored Federation Klingon alliance to the brink of defeat. However, the Allies realized it was only a matter of time before the mines were disarmed, and so rallied together and engaged in Operation Return, gathering a massive armada to retake Deep Space Nine and regain control of the wormhole. Despite being greatly outnumbered, Federation and Klingon forces were able to create an opening in the enemy line, allowing for Captain Benjamin Sisko aboard the Defiant to make his way through and enter the wormhole, where he negotiated with the powerful, non-corporeal aliens that lived there. These beings had a mysterious but special bond with the planet Bajor and the individual Benjamin Sisko, and so the aliens, worshipped as prophets by the Bajorans, agreed to interfere, causing Dominion reinforcements to vanish as they made their way through the wormhole. Dukat and the Dominion were relying on those ships to help them achieve victory, and so when they saw no reinforcements were coming, quickly fled from the space station and retreated with their forces to Cardassian space. All except Dukat, who suffered a nervous breakdown after his second-in-command, Damar, shot and killed his daughter Zayel, who refused to leave the station with her father. Damar was then made leader of the Cardassian Union, although he became a mere puppet of the Dominion, with the Cardassian government losing all influence, making heavy sacrifices in future conflicts, and were even forced to accept territorial concessions to the Breen Confederacy, who joined the Dominion in the second half of the war. Damar at first simply drank to numb the pain of his people's humiliation, but after reconnecting with his old friend Dukat, came to realize he had to act, and so Damar led a formal rebellion, convincing many to join his cause, and even reached out to the Federation and Bajor, allying together against the Dominion. Unfortunately, a traitor within the new movement revealed their location, and the army was massacred. Nevertheless, Damar went on to lead a citizens' revolution on Cardassia Prime itself, rallying the population to overthrow their Dominion overlords. This occurred at the same time the Federation, Klingon, and now Romulan alliance launched a final attack against Dominion forces in the Alpha Quadrant. After the Dominion destroyed Lakarian City, killing 2 million Cardassians, to ensure they remained loyal, it had the opposite effect, and in the middle of the battle, Cardassian forces turned against the Dominion, leading to their ultimate defeat. And so in retaliation, the Founders ordered that the citizenry of Cardassia Prime be wiped out, and while Damar died in battle, his forces successfully captured a changeling founder, allowing for the Alliance to negotiate a formal surrender. Despite the efforts to make Cardassia a vibrant power once more, the Dominion-Cardassian alliance ended in defeat and utter devastation. Having been on the front lines of battle and enduring most of the collateral destruction, by the end of the 24th century, the Cardassian Union was a shell of its former self, forced to rebuild from the ashes of their fallen civilization. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Jampo the Mad, Grandmaster Pupper of the Took, and Nate Strong the Liberator. If you would like to help Civilization X, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and click on the links to see more.